One of the best heroes for Overwatch Season 18. With Roadhog and the last massive balance patch already live, you must have already noticed that a brand new role queue meta is emerging. But in Season 18 there won't be any overly powerful composition like GOATs. A lot of heroes and compositions are viable now, so the best pick will really depend on your teammates' choices, the enemy's heroes and the map. But in order for you to focus on the most efficient and impactful characters, I will give you the best 3 heroes per role and the best heroes per rank for Overwatch Season 18 according to Overbuff and Omnic meta stats, coming up. Alex here on Overwatch Limbo, bringing you a true community experience to learn, improve and grow together as better players. So if you're new here and want to keep up with Overwatch news, guides and other workshop updates with no messing around, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon to make sure to be notified of all my future content. Now a little disclaimer first, there's no such thing as the ultimate hero, the one character you can just pick and it will make you win every game. Some weaker heroes are overwhelming in the right hands, and some strong heroes are completely useless in others. So as long as you play a hero you are very good at, there's no reason for you not to crush Overwatch Season 18. Don't play your hero in comp just because it's on this list if you are not fully trained with it. You won't get the results you hope for. But if you want to learn a new hero, those are the best ones at the moment, and if you wish to improve as fast as possible with your new main, I put together a detailed guide to do just that. Link is up here and in the description below. Finally, note that this selection is tied with the balance of the game at this point. With the next patch that comes around, things might change, but I'll make sure to let you know in the pinned comment below of any major meta update. Before jumping into the selection, a few quick words on the niche heroes that are currently standing at the top in terms of win rate. Tourbillon, Symmetra and Brigitte all have a peak rate below 2% and are very specialized. They are extremely efficient in precise situations, which is why they have such high win rate, but for the purpose of this video, we will not consider them. Alright, let's start with the tank role and hero number 3, Wrecking Ball. Hammond has been doing pretty good since Season 16, where he was in the top 5 heroes, but people started to understand how to counter him, so he's not as effective as before, but he's still a strong pick with a dive lineup, and on some maps where his high mobility and ability to stall points are super valuable. His ult has been slightly buffed in the last patch 139, turning him into the best bunker and ball composition disruptor. Only problem, he requires an insane amount of practice and skill to be used properly. Next is tank number 2, Roadhog. And here it's not a surprise, Hog has been very popular for a few months now, and that's because he's getting a lot of value out of the Halt-Hook combo. With 2-2 in place, his survivability is also an asset to not underestimate. But things have started to shift a bit with World Queue, and even if ranked pick rates and win rates can prove it yet, Overwatch League compositions show that Roadhog could lose a bit of his momentum because of extreme damage heroes counter-picking like Mei and Reaper. But that strategy doesn't seem to affect the number 1 tank of Season 18, Orisa. For a third consecutive season, Orisa is not only the best tank, but also the queen of the meta. In the Overwatch League, she's the most played character, and in ranked, she's without any doubt the most successful hero. She has an incredible win rate of 54.44% for almost 8% peak rate, and she's been played 93.5% of the time in the Overwatch League last week. Proof that even with Roll Q and the recent nerf to her shield cooldown, she will stay strong. Even with the comeback of dive and brawl comes to antagonized bunker, even with a more map-oriented pick strategy, Orisa is dominating Season 18 meta. And that shouldn't change either with Sigma. We don't have any numbers yet concerning Sigma players' performance, but the recent tuning down of some of his ability in the last PTR patch show that Sigma's first iteration was a tad too strong. Too much damage too easily, to the point that combined with Orisa instead of Roadhog, the bunker comp reached another dimension of unbreakability. I don't put it here because I don't have the stats to second my opinion, but even with the latest changes, I believe that Sigma has high chances to take a spot in the top 3 tanks in the next few weeks. Double shield might become the rule in Season 18, unless people learn how to counter that annoying formation and stop shooting barriers endlessly. And actually, I'm really curious to know what's your way of going against double shields. What's your strategy and your picks to counter extreme bunkers? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, let's jump to the damage roll and hero number 3, Doomfist. Yes, Talon's charismatic leader is back in the meta, and he's aiming at staying there for a while. The recent buff he received that made his combos with melee smoother should help in that sense. But what plays in Doomfist's favor at the moment is the abundance of double shield compositions, against which he is one of the best counterpicks. His punches can go through barriers, which allow him to engage bunkers like no other character, and because of his insane mobility to often get away with his life with a pick in his pocket. Next in line is damage hero number 2, Ashe. And there again, a hero that has been constantly in the top tier heroes for a while. Despite she's barely played in the Overwatch League, and despite some influencers think she's not as useful than other DPS because she's not as specialized. But the truth is, Ashe had a steady win rate for a long time that easily surpassed other damage heroes like Genji, Hanzo and McCree that are way more picked. Her reload speed has been increased in the last patch to make her a tiny bit more viable in high tiers of play, but even without that small buff, she was already super efficient in most ranks thanks to her dynamite damage and her ultimate impact. Yes, Bob does way more work than you think. And comes the number 1 damage hero's turn, Mei. And that is a real surprise, not because Mei has such a high win rate, because she's always kind of been up there, but because Mei's finally played enough to be considered meta. She's barely making it though with the stats we have, but I believe her peak rate might rise slightly in Season 18, and that is because Mei is a formidable DPS to play in a 2-2-2 environment. Her damage output is not amazing, but her ult comes in really handy when Grav and Earth Shatter are missing. True, she's more efficient on the defense side, but she's been played more on attack too, and with the right playstyle and the right composition, she can also dominate these rounds now. All she needs is a Lucio and a Reaper to shine, but even by herself, she starts to show some major impact when she manages her abilities and especially her wall placement well. The damage category is as usual the most balanced in terms of pick rate, and win rate can vary a lot depending on the rank, so make sure to stay until the end where I'm going more in depth into the best heroes for each rank. And if you enjoyed the video so far, don't forget to hit that like button, it really helps the channel growing and keeps me going. Time to move on to the support role and hero number 3, Lucio. And that shouldn't come as a surprise that the most important healer of the GOAT's composition is still pretty useful in the aftermath of its tumultuous disappearance. Mini GOAT seems to have taken up the torch with Mei and Reaper as DPS, no wonder why Lucio's speed boost is so needed. But as usual, Lucio is also pretty strong on its own, especially against compositions like Bunker, whose heroes don't like to be separated. And Lucio excels at that job with his obnoxious poops. Just watch out for Ryan's swings, the old Crusader doesn't fly away as much as before thanks to his new passive Steadfast. Moving on to support hero number 2, Zenyatta, another character that has always been at the top. His win rate is as calm and steady as his personality. Zen players, no matter the meta, find their place and their way and always bring value no matter the conditions. It has to be said that we've been seeing a lot more double main heal in the recent weeks, resulting in less playtime for Zen. But with Mei, Reaper and other self-sustained characters like Roadhog, the importance of the Discord orb should prevail once more. Plus, Zen is also good to bring down barriers, and his ult Transcendence, because of the increase of ultimate cost, one of the best ability of the game. And the biggest surprise of Season 18's best heroes comes from the number 1 support, and that is Mercy. And this is really recent news, as of the beta competitive season, showed in Omnic meta stats but not in other buffs that are stopped at Season 17. Prior to the beta, as we can see, Mercy was contending the 3rd seat with Moira, but with the recent patch, the rise of the double shield compositions with Sigma and Roadhog forcing 2-2-2 in every game, Mercy finally awoke from their mild sleep and got back to the top. So why is she played more now? She hasn't received any healing buff or any other change, so what made her more useful and viable is the shift of the meta. With a majority of bunkers, Mercy would see the battlefield only to damage boost a Bastion for example, while Moira and Baptiste would be the main healers to pick. But to counter bunkers and to go against double shields, Mercy is probably the best support at the moment. She can help melt shield faster, support dives wonderfully, and manage to get out of even the toughest situations with Valkyrie. So until Blizzard retune Brigitte to make Ryan Zarya brawling comp viable again, Mercy is the top support to pick at the moment. What about Ana, you might say? Well, indeed Ana is still the most picked support, but she's not overall that strong if you look at her general win rate. But things are different if we look in detail rank by rank, so here's the top 3 heroes per role for each rank. My question for you now, are you gonna play or learn any of the Season 18 best heroes? Choose your favorite role in the poll up here and let me know who you will play and what are your objectives this season in the comment section below. And if you're curious to know who could be the next hero after Sigma that will be added to the game in November, watch next my Hero 32 candidates video right here. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this one, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done it already, and check out my latest video over here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember lost is lose SR, not your mind.